Hey guys, how's it going? It is Anime Casuals here. It is me, Lucky,
Johnny,
Michael,
and we make up Anime Casuals. Thanks for watching today, guys. This is another one of our favorites list. So this is going to be our favorite anime voice actors. I say anime very casually because some of our voice actors kind of go into the video game realm, other animations, and English animations. They cross over so much in voice acting anyway. So, we're going to go ahead and start with Michael over here with his voice actor.
Hey, my voice actor that I picked out was Johnny Young Bosch. And
Black Power Ranger, for those of you.
That's true. And,
I'm a big Power Rangers fan, so.
That's one of those strange things is that I didn't, watch too much Power Rangers, so I mostly knew him from anime.
Yeah.
Which
he's great at.
Yeah, exactly. And he plays certain characteristic types in anime that I'll touch on as I explain my favorite ones. I'm going to work a little backwards and start with my more recent. Because it wasn't until around now that I realized he did one of my favorite animes.
Yeah. I know which one you're going to say. No, exactly.
Anyways, we'll start with, of course, one of my more favorites because he was such a dark character. Sasori from Naruto. He's the puppet jutsu guy. Yes. They're kind of funny. Cause, we're all just familiar with One Piece when I'm thinking Doflamingo right now.
I know, right? That death battle, though.
And, while doing that character, Sasori was pretty, intense of a character because he was pretty brutal, after, he killed his parents. Spoilers. And then he made, puppets out of their bodies. Pretty intensely insane character. And, while Johnny Young Bosch was doing this, I was just kind of reminded about, the fact that a lot of the characters that he does have some kind of insanity kind of personality with them, right?
Not all there.
Yeah, not all there would be, an apt way to say that. Which brings me to a character that I most recently watched. I started the dub, but I watched it a lot in Japanese as well. Was Orga from Mobile Suit Gundam Blood Orphans.
I didn't finish that.
Yeah.
I need to.
Yeah, super good,
You're about to learn today.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Don't worry, let's go. We're just talking about the character now, and I'm not talking about the anime. So, him as Orga was really cool because basically Blood Orphans is explaining the group of kids who were found on, I think, Mars? We'll just say a planet that's basically desert, and they were implanted with these machines in their back that allowed them to connect to basically, robots that we know as sort of like Gundams.
A casual explanation
Yeah.
right there for anime casuals.
I could get in depth, but whatever. We're casual about it. Straight casual.
I know, I was getting confused with All No Zero. I was like, isn't the princess from Mars?
That's casual explanation.
I was like, wait a minute, uh-oh.
I'm not professional in any means.
There's only so many planets.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So many.
And, through it, you kind of learn about, all these kids who banded together and kind of rebelled and then go off on a space adventure, basically. In which was war and stuff, Mobile Suit Gundam. Yeah, that story. Casual animation.
There you go.
But he plays one of the main leads who has to deal with, death, leading his group of people, out into the world of space, and hearing kind of the emotions that he's speaking about and how he deals with all of interactions. I really love the way he deals with it, and really the emotions come across as he talks. But the biggest thing is he also has a little bit of insanity in him because he is just a kid leading this organization of other kids with some adults who work under him, and he has to work with other adults. It's kind of crazy how he has to deal with that.
Yeah, it just kind of gets catapulted in there.
Yeah, and there's moments where he's like, holy crap, what did I get myself into? Where am I going? I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm still going to spearhead this because my best friend's like, hey, you told me you know what you're doing.
Exactly.
Okay, I know what I'm doing. Working a little bit backwards, I would like to just do a throw out to Pokemon Origins. I think he's only in the first episode because that's where Brock is. Because Johnny Young Bosch plays Brock. And
yes, he does.
For a very brief moment, he is like one of the coolest teachers in Pokemon. Basically going, hey, did you know about weaknesses and strengths in Pokemon yet? You need to learn that stuff. And also, do you know the true way to be a Pokemon trainer? And it was like, kind of shows off Johnny Young Bosch's kind of voice of a teacher. And what, like, another way that Brock could be.
Just dropping wisdom.
Yeah, he drops some wisdom on Red and he goes, hey, I fight with rock Pokemon. The fire Pokemon you're using is weak to rock Pokemon. What?
Just throwing it out there.
And, you know, goes in a little bit of, like, Pokemon trivia right there. It's like every gym leader is kind of like a teacher. And again, working backwards, we go to an insane character. Anybody who's watched Gurren Lagann, which the man to my left here has seen it.
I have not.
Lucky you have not. But he plays a character called Rosui Adui.
Yeah, the brother in that anime, or is
he is crazy? To remind you, he's the guy who they first find underground, and he believes in a robot god.
Yeah,
is he the village with
He's the guy with the white hair, right?
I mean, spoilers, but with they send.
Yeah, so to get a little philosophy in you, their village believes that there can only be a set amount of people who are in this area, and they send people out of their village to die, basically.
Okay.
And he plays basically a kid, and then what's really cool, kind of like Naruto and many great anime that we know, there's a time skip. So he goes from being about like 10, 11 years old to being, 20, 25. And I'm like, he does such a good job, like going, you know, I'm a kid, but I'm kind of a serious kid with some mental issues. Yeah. And then he becomes an adult, but still that same adult with mental issues. And he goes, like, the voice changes, gets deeper and gets, you know, I'm like, whoa, man. You know how to do that. That tells of a great voice actor already. Yeah. You can do the same voice in the same anime, not even like a huge time between when they were written. Yeah. And he can make it sound just amazing.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of insane characters, we have, we just talked about how to pronounce this. Ryunosuke.
Yeah, Ryunosuke.
Uryu. Yeah. I'll just briefly touch on him. Insane character. He has a crazy, you know, servant who's also insane. Yeah. They're insane together.
Gildure.
Which brings me up to Lelouch v. Britannia.
Yep.
One of my most favorite animes because it's an intense war all about rebellion, and then it's got this weird sci-fi aspect to it.
Yeah, exactly.
And Johnny Young Bosch, always gotta say his full name. All three names.
It just rolls off the tongue. You gotta do it.
Johnny Young Bosch. Johnny Young Bosch.
Exactly.
No pauses.
He shows what a character that's insanely smart, but also, you know, demented so hard because of that first episode.
Yeah.
He just kills like 18 people and just goes, okay, I guess I'm done with that. And you just start hearing this insanity of all the monologues that are throughout that anime that, you know, our voice actor has to just go, him by himself, sound crazy, great. So, which brings me a little bit back to, I got two more left. Ichigo Kurosaki.
Yeah.
Maybe one of his most well-known voice actors, just because how big Bleach is and was. Not is.
I wish it is, but okay. Oh well.
Maybe actually finish the manga. No. We're casual.
Too casual for manga, man. Wait for the anime adaptation or die. Casually.
Bleach. Well, Ichigo was more, I would say, overall a happy character. He's generally like kind of a nonchalant. Most of the time, his personality is on the. Not quite optimistic, but he's a never give up kind of main character of.
There you go.
Of an anime.
And he's got moments of craziness where he has to deal, you know, with his inner demons. I'll touch on it more, but I'm now having trouble remembering all the names of everything that's in anime. And then we get to one of my favorite animes of all, which I just learned Johnny Young Bosch, the main character for.
That research.
Yes.
The casual research right
Casual
there.
research. Sometimes nothing more than Wikipedia, you have my promise. Is Vash the Stampede from Trigun. I was introduced to that anime really early on. I'm pretty sure my brother introduced me to it when I was like maybe in middle high school level. And what really caught me was that the main character of Ash the Stampede is so happy all the time because of how crazy dark his backstory is. And he's just like, hey, how you doing? And he doesn't really say his name, but he's like, we're gonna be friends, I'm gonna drink a bunch, and even while I'm drunk, I'm the happiest guy. And then things get tipped off the dark end when people try to kill innocent people. And he just goes, you're never going to do that. Because I will passively as I can stop you. Shooting the gun in your hand, shooting both your legs, whatever he has to like basically incapacitate you until you are done. And the moments that I find the most insane is the moments where he has this crazy gun in his arm.
Yeah.
Whenever he's holding his revolver, it like transforms into this huge like angel beam, I think what they call it, that can blow up a city. And that's what you hear on episode 1. And there's a moment where he's talking about like when it starts to go off, he's like, no, please. He starts screaming, like trying to hold his arm back, and he just can't control it because someone's triggering it.
Oh, okay.
And just the amount of intense emotion that is given in this scene of him trying to be like back himself down, not kill everybody around him, and not kill some of his best friends in the whole series. I think is really why I love Johnny Young Bosch, and this is sort of a researched favorite voice actor, because I could tell you, voice actors like my favorite personality. I love these people because they're so genuine. But Johnny Young Bosch is like my favorite because he's done some of my favorite characters, and just the level of intensity he can bring to a role is awesome.
Nice. Well, speaking of Johnny, what is yours?
Okay, so
Johnny,
the segue is real casual.
So many levels.
Young Johnny Bosch.
Nice.
So my choice is Sonny Strait, and I actually didn't know his name until researching this, because I always knew him as It's Krillin. That's my three.
Nose.
Yeah, just nothing smooth. That was always weird, but good. So my three choices were Krillin, Usopp, and Koro Sensei, and I've got reasons for that. And the reason I chose him is because, I think Johnny Young Bosch, he's got a voice that's very recognizable, and that's kind of the thing. It's very recognizable, but he's able to deliver a wide range of emotions with that. Yeah. And that's what's kind of cool. So like Krillin, you have him where he's Goku's buddy, and he's always kind of cheerful, and he does have his down moments with trying to wrestle with what to do with Android 18, where it shows that emotion, that the crying anger and stuff. And, that's, and growing up with Dragon Ball Z, Krillin was always Krillin, and he always stuck with him on that. It was always the best move. And so that was cool about Krillin. And then I started getting into One Piece with Usopp, and that was another one where it's like, there's Krillin again. But Usopp kind of did the same thing, where he's a cheerful guy, and he too has his dark moments, like with Luffy, where he has his issues of I'm leaving the crew, and that's what's fun with Usopp. He gets to play a lot of different characters with all of his lies and hiding his identity.
So get king.
So king. That was always great. And but the reason I really chose him, I guess, ultimately, is I really liked Koro Sensei in Assassination Classroom. It was a
highly recommend. It's great.
Highly recommend. Very, very good anime.
Koro Sensei is super good.
Very good anime. And that was a big one that really kind of exemplified everything I've been talking about, where he's able to deliver such a wide range, and because he's this teacher, so he has to be cheerful for the students, and then you see him flash to anger, and all these different emotions he's able to portray. It's really just fun to watch and listen to. I mean, obviously, it's just a really interesting thing to watch. That's kind of why I chose Sonny Strait. Just his wide range, and it's just a cheerful voice that I've always kind of liked, and I recognize even when he's not someone big. He's a henchman. His voice is the same, but it's a little deeper. So it's Krillin with a deep voice.
You were talking about, like, you first started out, you were saying, he's got a really recognizable voice. I think that's one of biggest things that Sunny Straight's got, Johnny and Bosch got, is just like you just can't stop hearing their voice. And, like Sunny Straight's like one of those. It's just like you hear an Assassination Classroom, and then it like travels back. You're like, oh my gosh!
Like I know that voice.
I know that voice.
IMDb comes up, and it's like, oh crap!
Oh my god, they've got
curl away.
50 other voices.
But yeah, and so that's my choice. I'm gonna move it over.
All right, so real quick, just a little throw out to Johnny's Sunny Straight. Colonel May Hughes from Full Metal Alchemist. Also, he's also played by. Really, really great dynamic. Especially if you have not watched the anime, it is probably one of the most tragic characters. I'll just say that. But I'm going to go over to my choice, Kirk Thornton. And what I loved about Kirk Thornton was doing this casual research. I started discovering that he had a couple more voices than I thought. But I'm going to start off with Shizuo Heiwajima from Durarara. Great anime. I actually found it, I believe it was on Netflix, and that's where I kind of started getting. And he plays one of the, probably the two best characters in that anime are Izaya and Shizuo. Just because Shizuo is this overpowered human that can just throw kick cars. Actually, I should probably say that.
Such a fun character.
He can kick cars, just do all this crazy stuff. And Izaya is this very underworld type of guy that's, all about the black market and that kind of stuff. But he's one of... He's able to, kind of stop Shizuo to a certain extent.
Yeah,
at least
he never gets hit.
Yeah, he never gets hit by Shizuo, which is a great thing to do. That's a great strategy. But yeah, they just hate each other, and I just really loved hearing his voice because I was very familiar with another character that I'm going to mention right now, which is Jean from Samurai Champloo. I love Jean because basically whenever you watch Samurai Champloo, you're either a Mugen guy or a Jean guy. I was always a Jean guy. And Jean was very proper, proper Ronin, how a proper Ronin should act. Whereas Mugen, who was voiced by Steve Bloom, was much more of a, actually, he was very Spike Spiegel-ish. very, against the rules and did a lot of things that you wouldn't typically do in swordplay. But in that anime, Jean takes on a lot of people that, Mugen really can't take on, and then Mugen also takes on a lot of people that Jean can't take on. So they kind of balance each other out. They really can't kill each other, and at least with Jean, he says, you're the first man I've never been able to kill. Yeah. And so they have this kind of mutual respect, but also rivalry going on. But anyway, this girl kind of, she flips a coin and basically says, if this is heads or whatever, you both are going to be with me. And she's like, oh, it's heads. That kind of shit. And, they join as a Champloo, which I believe Champloo in Japanese means like a group, that kind of thing, like a configuration, that kind of stuff. And it's a really, really touching anime, but it was just long enough to be like, I got a full story from that, and I'm really happy right now, and I don't need a sequel, that kind of thing. And that's really rare to see nowadays in nowadady's culture, where it's like, this needs to be tied into this, it needs to be tied into that, it needs to have a sequel, where it's like, we're chilling. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So the other one that I didn't realize that he did, which was one of my
Didn't realize.
Yeah, I know, right? Did not realize it whatsoever. He played Hajime Saito from Rurouni Kenshin, which is one of my favorite animes of all time. And I actually probably rated a little bit above Samurai Champloo in terms of samurai anime. Mm-hmm. But just so good. And he played a character that was basically the opposite of Batosai. And if you ever seen, I believe it was Samurai X, that was a movie that came out. And you see a little bit of him in that, but you just see this kind of character. He also had a cool style, which was like this lunging style where he'd hold his sword like this and like kind of like a what do they call those things? The thing from billiards, the
Hughes,
yeah, there you go. He would do that kind of thing. He'd hold like his sword like this and just thrust really really hard in it, and it was freaking awesome. And he also had these wolf eyes. He's part of the Shinsengumi, I believe. And he was just such a great opposing character to the Batosai, because he was kind of saying, we need the Batosai right now. And Kenshin's like, I don't want to be the Batosai right now. So he kind of gets some extra training from Kenshin does. He gets some extra training from his sensei to try and do other things. He learns like a dragon move, which is really cool. But Kirk Thornton, actually, to kind of go out of anime for a quick second, was I believe it's pronounced Sias or something like that from Kingdom Hearts 2, who is like this moon. He used the powers of the moon, and he always. I just remember losing to him about like 3 or 4 times in a row. And just realizing that, like, I love this voice actor, but I hated this boss. Because he had this line that he just kept on saying, like, moon, shine down. Because he get, like, power from the Kingdom Hearts moon that was going over in the distance.
Yeah.
And he was, like, so powerful. But he went from being, like, super soft-spoken like Jean and Hajime Saito to, like, this really crazy character. Because basically he was, like, a lunatic. He got his powers from the moon. So he went crazy whenever he got the power from the moon, and he would just turn on and off, which is what I really think is great in a voice actor when they kind of turn it on and off and be the same character, but be like a Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I really liked about Kirk Thornton, and that's why I chose him as my favorite voice actor.
You know, I was gonna say, all of us, like, the thing with voice actors is, like, the biggest thing is you gotta say the full name every time.
Exactly.
He's a Kirk Thornton every time. You know, Sonny Strait, Johnny Youngblood, you gotta say always their full name.
Thank God we didn't choose, like, Travis Willingham or something like that, which is what I was gonna choose my other one, but can't just say Trav, man. We're not cool like that. We're casual. And speaking of which, you guys have just watched the second entry in the anime favorites. I hope you guys enjoyed it and have a casual day.